Tony Doherty here for NPC News Online, our first interview for the weekend with Flex Lewis, who's attempting to win his 6th Olympia title. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. It's good to be back and get interviewed by you.
It's good to be interviewing you. It's normally backstage, and I hope we get to do that again because it's always a fantastic interview and always a great message you have for the fans about hope and about spirit. You've had a hard few weeks, Flex. It's been tough with what you've been through the last weeks down in Florida. You've held up. Has it made you stronger?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think this prep, really, the whole umbrella is adversity and going through it. We've, all of us down there, my family, friends, obviously with the passing of Dallas, that was a massive hit for us all. And then, of course, the hurricane that we've just dealt with as well. So not only that, we moved all the family a couple of days ago, so I've been here about 5-6 days.
Yeah, well, I heard that you had to change your plans completely, and in the middle of a prep where normally though you're fighting to make the weight. I know other years you've come and you've been 216 the day before the show. You cruised in a little bit easier this year.
Yeah, we sort of came in several weeks earlier, and we sort of were on the edge of the 212 class and feeding myself up. So we wanted to be there early as opposed to doing anything last minute, and then of course all the tragedies and everything else happened, but we were ahead of the game. When the hurricane happened, we came out here to Vegas, we got into base camp, got everything done. My wife has been absolutely phenomenal. She took charge of everything. She said, we'll just leave. We had 24 hours, packed up the baby stuff, packed up the secondary baby stuff, and we hit the road, and we went up to Orlando, caught the next flight out, and that 2-hour drive, which is normally was 4 hours, some people were already doing the same thing. The very next day was 8 hours to get up to Orlando. So we got out a day early before all the madness. Like I said, we got here into Vegas, got our feet in the ground, got all the food, got everything ready, and settled the nerves. And even when the hurricane was hitting our house, we tried to really focus on what was going on right here now. The family was safe, everybody at home was safe, and we could just focus on what we've been doing.
Well, you can clean that all up when you get home with your 6th Olympia title, Flex. But what do you do come into Olympia when obviously everybody's getting closer to you each year? It's very hard to improve in a weight class where you've got a cut-off point, because if it was any other class, you could just keep getting bigger. Yeah. Now, I've talked to you about this before, but what do you feel that you've improved this year when the package that you produce every year wins the Olympia? So there's no room for weight, there's no room for kind of size improvement. What's the game plan with improving Flex Lewis?
I think everybody's going to find that out this weekend. We've definitely made improvements in certain areas. Conditioning is not going to be suffering. We're trying to bring a package that is slightly different every single year without disrupting what I am known for, and that is conditioning and size and my symmetry. So you're right, it is very difficult to make improvements when you come in 211, 210 every single year. But I feel like I've made some improvements in key areas, and I'll leave that up to what's been seen on Friday night, actually.
Now, I know you and your coach, Neil Hill, work very closely, but it's not a 6-week prep or a 3-month prep like some people do with their coaches. You guys are together most of the year, and I know you start working on next year, the day after the show. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we can expect.
Yeah. And the thing is with me, I don't have an off-season, so traveling obligations and stuff like this, I really start my year in January. And then as the Arnold Classic kicks in is when I start prepping really for the improvements to be made for the Olympia. Because if I had a phenomenal off-season, then I'd be sitting in the open class. So really we have this amazing plan that's been put together for the last couple of years, myself and Neil. And again, now when Neil has moved to Florida, it's been a great benefit for me, and having him in my gym every day and pushing me, and again, we're such a great unit that I'm a stress head sometimes. And no matter how many times I've done the Olympia, I train for the Olympia like it's my very first. And I think that's a very healthy thing in many regards. People say it's unhealthy, but no, it keeps me on my toes. It keeps me hungry. You know, I stress a lot looking at the other competitors online, posting their stuff. Not in, like I said, not in a healthy way, but more of a way of keeping me on my toes. Because some of these guys I'm against do have room to make improvements. So I have not missed a beat.
Absolutely, but I think that's where you've always been so down to earth that you don't have a sense of entitlement that some of the others may have.
Absolutely.
Where if some of the other divisions, I see guys that are second or third, and they think, well, at least I know that I'll be top 3, and I'm like, no, you've got a sense of entitlement. You could be 8th next year. And I think that's what's kept you hungry and kept you on top of your game, is you've stayed humble, stayed grounded, and as long as I've known you, you've trained for it like it's your first Olympia.
Yeah, and thank you very much for that, because I got that mentality. You know, I come from a blue collar background, and nothing's been given easy to me. I've worked my ass off, just like my whole family has for what they've got. So, you know, I could quite easily come home from a guest posing at 10 o'clock at night and say, man, I've been walking around the airport all day. No, that's not cardio. I got to get on the stairs to do the cardio. I know I have not missed a single beat. I have not missed a single meal. I have not missed a single cardio session. Whatever myself and Neil have put together, it's done. Again, there's no questions asked. We just follow the game plan. And then at the end of the day, he has full faith in me and I have full faith in him. And that's what makes a team. That's why we've been together 15 years.
Well, we've got 24 hours to find out what you've done this year and to see it all live. We can't wait to welcome you up on stage and to look forward to interviewing you again as a champ.
Thank you.
Flex Lewis, NPC News Online.